Well, a chilling murder that has stunned Lucknow after a 21-year-old allegedly shot dead his father, chopped his body into pieces and stored the pieces in a blue drum inside their house. All this after an argument over NEET exam. First up, all the details of what happened.
NEET, a rifle, a father-son duo, a blue drum, and one fateful day. On the 20th of February, inside a house in Lucknow's Asiana locality, a heated argument broke out between 21-year-old Akshat Singh and his father, liquor businessman Manvendra Singh. The trigger? Pressure to crack NEET. Police say the fallout was fatal. During the confrontation, Akshat allegedly fired his father's licensed rifle, killing him on the spot. What followed has horrified the city. Investigators say the son dragged the body downstairs, allegedly planning to dump it into the Gomti River. When he failed, he allegedly bought a saw and dismembered the body. The head and torso were stuffed inside a blue plastic drum inside the house. The hands and legs were dumped elsewhere. The victim's minor daughter reportedly saw the aftermath, but was allegedly threatened and confined for days.
As you see, the crime scene has been logged by the UP police, but the entire thing happened inside this particular room where the 21-year-old Akshat firstly killed his father by firing a bullet over his head, then cut his body in two parts and then stored it in a blue drum.
ये प्री प्लान मर्डर किया है उसने बेटे ने। क्या उसको ईगो हर्ट था, क्या प्रॉब्लम थी, मुझे नहीं पता। और बेटी के सामने ही ये सारी वारदात हुई है। बेटी के सामने सारी वारदात हुई है। और बेटी का ये कहना है कि हमको डरा दिया गया था भाई द्वारा, कह दिया गया था कि तुम किसी से कहना नहीं, तुमको भी गोली मार देंगे।
Acid was also recovered from the house. Family members claim it may have been used to destroy evidence. Neighbors say when Manvendra went missing, a WhatsApp group was created. Akshat was part of it. In fact, he even kept sharing updates and even went to the police to file a missing complaint.
अभी 22 तारीख की कहानी यही बनियान पहन के बैठे थे, अपने पिताजी को ढूंढ रहे थे। हाँ, ढूंढ रहे थे। FIR खुद करने गए थे वो।
मतलब मर्डर हुआ 21 को, 22 को खुद ढूंढ रहे थे।
खुद ढूंढ रहे थे, खुद FIR करने गए हैं।
तो आप लोगों से क्या कह रहे थे?
कह रहे कि हमारे पिताजी दिख नहीं रहे, हमारे पिताजी दिख नहीं रहे हैं।
Suspicion grew when CCTV showed the father entering the house, but never walking out of it.
19 तारीख की रात के 1 बजे वो शादी से आए और वो अंदर गए हैं।
उसके बाद वो गाड़ी उस गेट से ना बाहर निकली और ना मानवेंद्र उस गेट से बाहर निकले।
गाड़ी तो उन्होंने यहाँ खड़ी करी।
तो मानवेंद्र अंदर गए। CCTV में दिखाई पड़ा। मानवेंद्र CCTV से बाहर आया, वो नहीं
दिखाई नहीं पड़ा।
Police interrogation cracked the case. Body parts were recovered from the house and other locations. Akshat Singh is now under arrest, charged with murder and destruction of evidence. From NEET pressure to Patricide, it's a family torn apart in one fatal flash of rage. With Samad Srivastav in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
I'll take you through details of some of these gruesome cases that have been seen in the recent years. Most importantly, the one we just saw on 20th February 2026 in Lucknow. This 21-year-old boy who killed his father over stress of his career and being asked to take the NEET exam is what the police is saying. Such was the confrontation that he chopped his father's body. He first killed his father, then chopped his body, and that too in front of his minor sister. You would remember what had happened in January 2025 in Hyderabad, where there was such a case that came up of a Hyderabad man who chopped his wife's body parts into pieces, then boiled the body parts in a pressure cooker in order to avoid any sort of scrutiny that may come on him. It was in October 2024 in Bengaluru when a man strangulated his girlfriend, chopped her body into 59 pieces. And then, of course, that case that had happened in Delhi in November 2022, Aftab Poonawalla, who killed his live-in partner, Shraddha Walkar. He chopped her body into 35 pieces, and that's how he tried getting rid of her until the law took its course. We also have special guests joining us on this broadcast, Dr. Jayanthi Dutta, who's a criminal and clinical psychologist, and Chandrabhushan Sharma, who's an educationist. I'd like to first come to you, Dr. Jayanthi Dutta, to really understand from you, how do you read into the psychological triggers in this particular case?
See, these are the hate crimes. This doesn't happen all of a sudden overnight. The person must have been, contemplating giving this kind of an end to it. And I don't believe it's a one-man show. There must have been some kind of discussions. What I gathered from the other news broadcasts, that he was heading probably some alcoholic taker of his father, and he wanted to continue doing this. He had a different plan for his career or earning. He wanted to run a eatery and open a bar and all that. Now, when you have already seasoned yourself by running a alcoholic outlet, I'm sure the kind of peer support he gets there, he must have contemplated this kind of a crime earlier. And it happens with all criminals, that they think they are very smart, they are very intelligent, and nobody will be able to catch them. My shocking realization is, in this particular case, that if he has given such a brutal, gruesome end to the father, what happened? All right, one sister, you have been saying that, that sister was threatened. But what about the other younger brother? He is also, I gathered that he was working in police, and his family was also there. So why this kind of a thing happened? Now, cutting off the body is not an easy job. If he has done that, he has gone, he has purchased the saw, and he has purchased the drum, it must have taken some time. And who are the ones who were helping him?
Right.
One single person cannot chop off the body, dispose it off. I think the police investigation should also concentrate on finding out who were his ally, who were supporting him. So one has to find out, when did he plan? And this kind of hate crime, as I said, it doesn't happen all of a sudden. It must have been, the boy must have given some inkling, some kind of a, clue that he is not liking his father. And he probably found it's very difficult to overpower the father otherwise. And when he felt that he is not going to win over this man, he thought, let me finish him off. And how can he finish him off? He thought, I can give it an end by doing this. And you know what happens? Once the criminal psyche is such, once they learn that this can be done, they go ahead and they feel it's easy.
All right, let me take this to Mr. Chandrabhushan Sharma also. Sir, while this could be a different case, but fact also remains that there have often been cases related to NEET where students have gone on to take an extreme step. Sometimes their own lives, and sometimes, like in this particular case, we see taking the life of his father. How do you describe this extreme pressure that students often go through?
I don't think that this is a case of pressure to any student or to this age group. I think we'll need to go into the family background and business so that we can analyze. I will look at it from two aspects. One is the family of the child. Look, the family had alcohol business, and also the father was running a couple of other pathological labs. They were making a lot of money. We will have to look into the business that this was. And child.
Mr. Sharma, unfortunately, that audio line is not very clear. We'll try and reconnect that with you. But I'd like to go back to Dr. Jayanthi. As you said, ma'am, that it's not easy to chop off the body parts. In this particular case, there could be other accomplices. But we've also listed out the cases in the last few years that have been as gruesome in nature. Do you read into a certain pattern when they go on to firstly commit a crime in such a confrontation, and then plan to dispose of the body in this manner?
Yes, there is, apart from the criminal propensity, there is a psychopathic component in their persona. You mentioned about Shraddha murder case. I was interviewed at length by various channels, and my take was that, this man not only killed her, put her into body parts and put that parts in the refrigerator, and then in the same room he was dating another female. So these kind of psychopathic people, they have no remorse, they don't feel the pain of others, they are very self-centered, and they only want to do what they feel like. They're very impulsive, they don't even plan about their future. So I think it's high time, even for this Meerut case, the blue drum, there also, the girl did everything with an accomplice, right? And she had her boyfriend helping her. Now, once you come to the media, once you learn about this, you take on that modus operandi, thinking that if he can get away with, I can also. And I've interacted also with couple of chronic, criminals, those who have nothing else to do but commit the crime in Tihar jail. And they said, ma'am, kya hoga? Jada se jada jail ho jayega. That's it. I think it's high time you have to bring it out in the open that there is a fast track court. You cannot get away with these kind of crimes, and you should punish. We had another case in Bangalore, I think, where the techie came back from USA and killed both the parents, The father was an Air Force officer and mother was probably a dentist. So I think these kind of examples, when you hear, the criminal psyche feels, if they can do it, I can also do it. And,
and the important mention you make, ma'am, is of the blue drum, because like you're saying that there have been recent cases that have had a particular association when it comes to the blue drum and disposing of the body parts in that. At the moment, we are running short of time. I want to thank you for joining us here on India Today, but the case certainly remains in focus, as we will update you with all that comes out in the investigation. That's all that we could pack for you in this edition of Super 6. Thank you so much for watching.